Have you ever felt like your life isn't interesting enough to document? Like there's nothing worth putting down on paper? I'm here to show you that that's far from the truth. Every day, no matter how ordinary it may seem, holds moments worth capturing, whether it's tracking your goals, documenting small victories, adding memories, or simply expressing your creativity. In this video, I'll walk you through how I transform my junk journal planner into a playful, creative journal filled with life's little details, using recycled art, bits from friends, photos, and more. Your life is worth documenting, and I'll show you how easy and fun it can be. Welcome, it's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. So let me start off by sharing what my August signature in this planner looks like currently. Obviously, we are not done with August. I am filming this on August 21st, so a few days before you see this video. So this is the fourth signature in my current planner. For this year, I have 4 months per planner, so each month gets its own signature. In the front here, I have written for which months this particular planner is. So for this month, I used my Bohemian Summer digital kit. And the reason why I love using digital kits is because it's easy. I started off these planners as altered books where I made everything myself and it just took way too much time. So now I love having these digitals, and this way I can do it very quickly if I have to, if I don't have enough time. But if I have the time and I feel like I want to do something creative in my planner, I can easily alter the ephemera and the pages as much as I want to. So it just gives me so many more options than if I have to make everything from scratch. And I will show you for September, step by step, how I come to, for example, what you see here in August. So I always have my monthly overview. Please note that my digital planner kits come without dates, meaning you get this template blank and then you fill in which month you want to use this kit for. So I use a stamp to stamp the month, and then I also stamp all the days here so that I have an overview of what August looks like. Then I always have a 10K step tracker, which brings me so much joy. Because yes, I have a Fitbit which tracks my steps and I see how much I walk. But seeing the number there is just not as inspiring as manually coloring in these columns and then actually having a visual picture of how much I walked. So my minimum goal for the day, this is for me personally, you will have your own goals. For me, my goal is 10K at least per day. So I would say I'm doing really well for August. Some of these, as you can see, are actually going above what my scale is. So my scale here ends at 20,000 steps. And I'm really proud when they go over. So this is what motivates me to walk, not my Fitbit. You know what I mean? So tracking something visually like this, whether it's steps or I don't know how much water you drink or whether you take your daily medication, whatever it might be, or whether you keep on track with a prompt list, there's so many ways you can use trackers. And you will see that then when I show my new kit, there's not only a 10K step tracker, but there's like a generic tracker where you can fill in what you want to track and then track it. I currently don't use that one, but the page is there if you want to use it, or you just make your own tracker. So then we go into my weekly calendar pages. Again, these are blank. They do have the words Monday through Sunday written on them. If you like starting your week on Sunday, what I would do is I would probably just stick a paper on top of the Monday where I have then myself stamped the word Sunday on it and just stick it over and then do that for all of the days. Or you make your own weekly calendar. It's up to you. So I stamped the date for each weekday. Then I always add little bits of like paper bags or other smaller papers because I just love having the variety within my planner. So here, for example, I kept a ticket to a craft market. I secured that with a paper clip. This here flips out. Inside the pocket here, I have some business cards from the craft flea market and also a movie ticket to Deadpool, which was very fun. I just keep it all together with this paper clip. On the back side, I made a pocket, which, oh, I have another one I can show you, was from this card. So I took this heart and I used a die to just cut out this image. And then on the back, which was white, I colored it, edged the heart with some gold acrylic paint and added some gold splattering, and then sewed around it and glued it onto this paper bag, which now also serves as a pocket for some more business cards. On the right side of my weekly calendar pages, I always have some sort of a pocket or tuck spot or belly band in which I can stick a piece of ephemera in, so that on the back I have some space to write my to-dos. If you don't have to-dos, you can write down a memory. You can write down a quote that you like. You could add a photo on the back or just decorate it. Just have fun making a little collage on the back. There are so many things you can do with these. So this page we've done together in the last Plan With Me August video. And I just added some heat embossing here to the tag and some fabric as a topper. Made a little collage here. Here I added a beautiful birthday card, and I added it in a way that, first of all, I could flip it open to still read it, but I also added it by just gluing it down. Actually, I only glued it down on these two sides so that it is a belly band. So I could stick something in here that goes through all the way. In this case, I just stuck this little booklet in here. And this is the second half of the paper bag, which doesn't have anything on it yet. Here I added another birthday card that I received, such a beautiful collage. I just added it with some clear tape so that I wouldn't lose any part of the design, but so that I could flip it open and still read it on the back. The back here is wrapping paper from a birthday gift. For week 2, I made a tuck spot using my boho mandala pieces. This digital is a separate one from my summer boho kit, but they fit together so well. These are hand drawn. This is from art that I made many years ago. You can find the link for this particular digital below the Plan With Me August video as well. And I used a die to cut out this butterfly, added some lace behind it. And then I put the cut out butterfly here, added some lace underneath. Used one of my journaling cards as a to-do list. This next page, so this is the week we're in when I'm filming this. This has another beautiful card that my sweet friend made for me. It's on the other half of the paper bag, into which I still need to add something. Then for my to-dos, I made this belly band, which is just cut out from my printable, added some lace underneath, and then I added this coin envelope. Again, this is all from the Bohemian Summer kit. I added some stenciling here with some distress ink. Added this tag from the kit with a simple piece of fabric as a tag topper. This is where my to-dos go. So this fits in here, and I just leave the flap open. And this goes into the belly band. And I just love when things stick out on the side of the pages. So this is next week, or the current week when you're watching this video. So I have a paper bag here, which I haven't really done anything with yet. I already prepared my pocket here for my to-dos, and I added this little file folder with some fun stenciling inside, ready to add my to-dos into, and that just kind of sticks in here a little wonky like that, which I think is cute. Then the last 2 pages of August. This last page here has my fitness tracker. This is free. You can find this linked below. Again, this is a more visual way of tracking my fitness, my strength training, my cardio training. I have it in my calendar on my iPhone, but it's not the same as seeing it like this, and this makes me proud. So when I see how consistent I am, it makes me smile and it motivates me to keep going. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous glycine bag that I received. I love this collage so much. The background here is from another paper bag from my trip to the Netherlands. And inside I added one of my Klimt style girls, which is another printable that I will link for you below. There was also a freebie, which I will show you in a second in case you missed that. And on the back I added a quote: "To be yourself in a world that is consistently trying to make you something else is the greatest achievement," by Ralph Waldo Emerson. I wanted to really add a quote about acceptance because this is a topic that I have been dealing with, because this is my birthday month and I started reflecting, and yeah, I just wanted to change the way I see myself. So I just wanted to show you in case you missed that video, because there's another freebie involved which you might enjoy. So this is my XL art journal. There's a playlist for this as well on my channel. This cover is a freebie, not with the additions that I made, but the original image here is a freebie for you. You can find that under the first video of my XL art journal playlist. But I also wanted to share another freebie. Maybe you've seen the video already. It's this girl right here. I have altered her. I think the title of the video is Transform Your Prints. So I share how I made this basically look more like an oil painting, and how I made this masterboard in the background using a technique by my dear friend Louisa Heinzel to make it kind of all come together. You can find that video linked below as well with this freebie. So she is the same style as my Klimt Girl printable. I still have not bound this. Not sure when that's going to happen. So going back to the planner, then on the last page, I have my book tracker. You can also find this one below this video. I actually need to add one more book. If you've been following my book journey, then you know that I have switched to a Kindle finally, but I did read one physical book, which was this one. This is German because I was gifted this. I usually never read in German, but it was really nice to read something in German for a while, for a change. So the book is called The Cafe on the Edge of the World, I believe in English. I'll put a photo of it here. And it's such a sweet, sweet book. It's a very short read. It also has some cute images. And basically, it's like an introduction to self-development and the purpose of life, feeling fulfilled in these kind of things. It is written in such a humorous and cute way. I can highly, highly recommend this book. I mean, it's written like a story, which makes it so easy and fun to read. I actually was reading this together with my BFF. We were walking in a beautiful place in Vienna all afternoon, and I was actually reading this book to her. And it was so fun to read it together and to reflect on the messages. And it was a really, really great and memorable time. So I'm going to give this book 5 stars and add it here to my list. And there's 2 more books, I believe, in this series. So I'm looking forward to reading those as well. I already have the second one. German titles are always so much longer than English titles. I find it so difficult to draw these stars, even though, there's templates here. You can see where you need to just trace them, and still I struggle. I don't know why. It can't be so difficult. They always turn out so wonky. So that's that. So let's move into the new planner. I am so, so excited. So I recently showed you how I made this planner, start to finish, step by step. You can find this video linked below. It was actually the video before the one you're watching right now. So this piece of ephemera here is from my latest kit, which is called Bumble Breeze. As you can see, I added some embossing to the bee's wings, and we have some gold splattering, of course we do. And as I mentioned in the other video, I just love how by coincidence these gold splatters turned out to look like pollen, and like the bee is collecting the pollen. We have some jeans underneath here, and then some packaging and some old lace. We have some Tim Holtz fabric. We have one on this side. This fabric is called Curator Multi. And then we have another Tim Holtz fabric on the inside, which is called From Camden. As always, you can find the German online store where I buy all these beautiful designer fabrics linked below. So if you're in Europe, this is a great source. We've added our 4 signatures for the last 4 months of this year. So September until December 2024. And the beautiful thing about having a soft cover like this made from paper bags is, and I know I shared this in the other video as well, so this isn't complete yet, but look at the difference. This is when it's empty, and this is once it starts filling up. And the spine just grows beautifully along with your creations. It's just amazing. So let me share my latest digital kit that I will be using for the month of September with you now. Welcome to Bumble Breeze, my latest digital kit that celebrates the beauty and importance of bees. I've poured my heart into crafting this collection, which includes, as always, 14 backgrounds, 8 calendar pages, and 8 ephemera pages. Bees are more than just tiny fuzzy insects. They are essential to our world. Did you know that there are over 20,000 species of bees? So while honeybees get most of the attention, there are more than 20,000 different species of bees, including bumblebees, carpenter bees, and mason bees, each with unique behaviors and characteristics. Honeybees use a waggle dance to communicate the direction and distance of a food source to their hive mates. The angle and duration of the dance convey precise information about the location. How cool is that? Bees can even recognize human faces. Who knew? Honeybees have an impressive ability to recognize and remember human faces, which they do by piecing together facial features like a jigsaw puzzle. Oh my goodness. And bees can even get drunk. Some flowers produce nectar that ferments into alcohol, and bees that consume this fermented nectar can get drunk, causing them to fly erratically or even pass out. Aww! So then we can start adding the pages to our first signature. So I've mentioned this in the video where I made the planner, but I want to mention again that I use 4 A4 papers folded in half for each signature. Plus I add 2 little bits, so 1, 2, in between the pages that are also bound into the signature. So in total, if you count these bits as well, I have 6 pages per signature, and that works out beautifully for each month, so that I also have space to add other things in my planner like you've seen in the other planner. So my first step would be to add the digitals for this month. So I've printed all of these on high quality copy paper. So it's thin 80 GSM paper. And as you can see, I left the white edge, which is because I want to see the edge of my coffee dyed paper. So I'll show you here. When I glue these pages in, I always see the edge of my paper, which is what I personally like. So I have all of these printed out, and here actually you see the habit tracker. So you can fill in the habit here and then track it throughout the month. So first thing I need to do is cut off all of these white edges. And then I usually also trim a little bit from the sides to fit my page. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to use a paper trimmer where I can trim more pages at once, but certainly you can also just use scissors and cut off all of the edges. I have this large trimmer by Westcott. I found this on Amazon. I'm not super happy with it though. It does a fairly good job cutting multiple pages. It doesn't do a great job when I want to cut single pages. So there's 7 planner pages in total. With a large trimmer like this, I am able to trim all of them at once, which saves a lot of time, of course. So then I take my planner. You could also have a template and then you always know the correct size. And then I can just see where do I need to cut it. So I think I'll cut a little bit off here and then I'll cut it here. And then for this side, I'll also just trim a tiny bit off this edge and then I'll cut it here. So very, very closely together here. And again, I can cut all of them at once. See what happens? Sometimes this happens. That's not good. So once I have them all trimmed to the right size, I like putting them in the right order. So I always start with a cover page. Again, let me show you an example. So this was May, this was June, this was July, and this was August. I usually use the right side of the monthly for my cover page. So this is page 1. Then I'll have my monthly overview, my 10K step tracker, don't need the habit tracker. And then I'll start with my weeks. So left side, right side, left side, right side, and so on. So now I have them in the order that I'm actually going to glue them into my journal. And my next step, this is all optional, this is just what I like. I ink up all of my edges of all of the printables with walnut stain. Yes, this takes a while, but I think it's worth it. I just like the look so much more, and I usually watch something while I do this. So once I have all of my pages inked up, the next step is to stamp the dates. So for the monthly overview, I use this roller stamp. I have one of these linked for you below. They have alphas and numbers and also some special signs. I use always black archival ink. I usually make a test stamp because I always want to make sure that these are lined up. And then I stamp that here. For these numbers, I use these little stamps. I think these were in one of the Your Creative Studio subscription boxes years and years ago. So I just realized a problem in my printable. For some reason, I did not see that September, because September 1 starts on Sunday, will need 6 rows instead of 5. So by the time you see this video, you will have the correct monthly printable in the kit that you download. I will correct this for my shop by the time this video is up. I'm just going to start with September 2 here because that's good enough. Don't you just love it when these things happen? So once I have that, I don't need to do anything for my 10K 10K step tracker. So moving into the weeklies. In my current planner, my last page here goes until September 1st. So I'm going to start with Monday, September 2nd. You start with whatever you want to start with. And for that, I use this cute stamp. This was also in a Your Creative Studio subscription box years ago. Obviously, you could handwrite these as well. I don't like my handwriting, and this is much faster. So I do that for all of the weeklies, obviously. So my last day is then October 6th. Oh my goodness, I don't even want to think about October, where it gets gray and shorter days. So not ready for that. So then we can glue in our pages. I'll wait gluing in the cover page because I want to add something to that. That will be easier before it's glued in. But I can glue in everything else. And what I do is I take art glitter glue. I like using art glitter glue because I have the thin metal tip. It comes out really well. I'm not using a lot of glue this way because of the fine tip. And I just put the glue on the edge of my paper. There is no need to waste your glue and time to add it in the middle here. Also, that way your pages don't get so stiff. So this always goes on my left side. Then I add my step tracker. You see how quick and easy these are to add? Done. Then I decide where I want to leave some blank pages because I know I have enough to do that. Yeah, let's just add the first weekly here. I think September is my favorite month of the year. The days are still quite long. A lot of them are very sunny still, and it's not as hot as July or August. Beautiful for hiking or walking. This one I will leave blank to add something else onto. Let's continue here. So then the last page of the signature is for my fitness tracker. So again, this is a freebie. You can find it linked below. And since I don't want to just put it here because that looks boring, I printed out one of the weeks again. In this case, it was the week 1. I'm just going to use this page. Most of it will be covered up, but it still makes the page look more interesting than if I were just to glue it on this here. Maybe you don't want to use the calendar pages at all. You just want something to get you started in your journal. Then the background pages might be more suitable for you. Or maybe you want to add your own calendar onto your pages. Then you could also check out the background pages. Or use the calendar pages and just glue your own calendar on top. There's many options. I really enjoy having a new kit every month because I get bored so easily of a theme. So if I were to have a whole journal with one theme, it would not motivate me one bit to create in it. But this is always so fun to have a new digital every month and then to just enjoy a new theme and experiment and have fun with that. So this is the setup that works for me. You need to find what setup works for you, whether it's with calendar or without calendar. This sparks my creativity, gives me a starting point, and I just have loads of fun with it. So let's do something with this title page. So I'm going to keep it simple For this year, I'm using these same stamps for every month to make the year cohesive. These are by Dilutions Diane Reevely, and they're called Boxed Monthly DYB 79996. I'm simply going to stamp this, okay, maybe not black. How about Evergreen Bow Distress Oxide? It's more green than this blue. Well, just go for it. Even if it's green, I think it will look nice. It's only my monthly cover page. What could go wrong? Oh, that's totally fine. And then I'll add a handwritten quote about September here. So the quote says, "Ah, September, you are the doorway to the season that awakens my soul," by Peggy Tony Horton. Oh, but it needs gold splatters, doesn't it? I'll just cover up the writing here so I can still read that. And then I'll use this Ice Ink dye spray by Seth Apter called Gold Mine. I'm just too lazy to mix up some paint. This is more difficult. Okay, let's do something else. Let me spray some here. Add some water. And do it like this. Yeah, much better. You could add some stenciling or texture paste or something on it. See where your creative heart takes you. So we have some beautiful gold splatters now. And let's just kick off week 1. So let's add something here so that we can add to-dos or whatever we want on there. So these are my ephemera pages. So I need to find a piece of ephemera and something to stick that into. Maybe we could start off with a classic tag. Yeah, let's do that. Let's take one of these 4 tags. Let's take the sunflowers with the blue background. We could put it in one of these pockets here. It does fit nicely, but I think I want to back it with some cardstock, which will make this wider. So I would rather put this into a tuck spot. For example, one from here. Yeah, how about this neutral one? I recently had the question, when do I use these flaps, or I think gussets they're sometimes called, and when don't I use them? The answer is I use them when I know I'm going to put something more bulky into this tuck spot, because having these flaps just gives it a lot more room. But if it's just going to be like a one piece of ephemera like this, if I wouldn't back it with anything, by the way, all my ephemera is printed on 180 GSM matte photo paper. So it is fairly sturdy, but I want to make it more sturdy. So since I plan on backing it, I could actually use the flaps. Obviously, I'm going to bend these down. If I were to just put this in as it is without backing it, I would just cut these off and glue along the edges, because otherwise this is going to be in here too loosely if I leave the flaps on. It actually makes a pretty big difference. So if you have that problem in your journal, that your ephemera is kind of falling out, it could be due to the fact that you're using these flaps and you're not putting enough into that tuck spot. So let's just ink this up. I'll also ink our tag up. So I went through my box of scraps and I found this one, which I think works quite well. it's still light enough to write something on the back. Let's punch a hole. Then I'll also ink that up. And I found a gorgeous sari silk ribbon in my stash. How perfect is this? I could have tied a bow. Oh well. It's okay. We will enjoy it like this too. And maybe we can add one of the sentiments. We have these. We have a few more here. I really like Be Sweet and Bumble. But I don't think, yeah, that doesn't, well, I mean, could work here. But I think I'll take something from here. We could, of course, also add another one down here. How about just Be You? So let's add that on the bottom here. Maybe this one will fit on the pocket, I'm not sure. And I would just like to give a huge shout out to you and this amazing community. Thank you so much for all your amazing feedback to my recent video about the issues that channels have if you don't show enough engagement. This video has pushed the algorithm because of your engagement. So thank you so much. It confirms that we are the best community ever. But seriously, my channel would have not survived without your support. So huge, huge, huge thank you for that. I would have hated to lose this channel. So does this fit here? Let's just do it and not overthink it. Let's keep it simple. I know you have more things to do than to watch my video. So let's glue these flaps on. And there we go. We're set for the first week of September. So don't forget, your life is worth documenting. And believe me, you're going to love looking back at these pages at a later time. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah.